Hi, this is Janet Eifred. This is my third video on division. In this one we're going to continue dividing by one digit, which is what we did in the previous video. We're going to also divide by two digits. We are going to divide by decimals and decimal by decimal and so on. Then I will always try to show you how to avoid dividing by two digits, because we don't like it. It's a lot of work. So let's get started. Now, in my previous video I did division by 2 and division by 5, the long and the short ones, to show you. Now, in the previous workbook you've got all the divisions up to 9 with the remainder patterns and lots of practice. You have practiced this if you did the previous workbook. But I just quickly want to run through again for those who didn't watch the previous video and who would, or those who did and want to see more examples. Okay, let's get started. 3 goes in 5, 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 take away 3 is 2. My remainder is 2. I bring down the next number next to my remainder. My new number is 23. 3 goes in 23. How many times? 7. 7 times 3 is 21. I take away 23, take away 21. Gives you 2. My remainder is 2. I bring down the next number, 25. 3 goes in 25. How many times? 8. 8 times 3, 24. I take away, to get the remainder, 25 take away 24 is 1. My remainder is 1. I bring down the 5. I have 15. 3 goes in 15. How many times? 5. 5 times 3, 15. I take away 15. Take away 15 is 0. I bring down, and there isn't a next number to bring down. In other words, that means we are done. The answer 1785. Now you try to do these short divisions on your own. Pause the video now. Now there you go, there's your answers. How did you find this one? Could you do it? 3 goes in 6 twice. There was no remainder. 3 goes in 7. How many times? Twice. 2 times 3 is 6. In other words, there is 1 remainder. 3 goes in 10. How many times? 3. 3 times 3 is 9, so there is 1 remainder. And then 3 goes in 12 4 times. There is no remainder. And then 3 goes in 6 twice. Okay, pause the video and check your answers. Now we're going to divide by 6. Now, do you know your 6 times table or not? If you don't know it, I suggest quickly write it down. Now, how do you write it down if you don't know it? We are going to add 6 every time. 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay? And that is 18. So you add 6 every time. 4 times 6 is 24. 5 times 6 is 30. 24 plus 6 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. 7 times 6 is 42. 8 times 6 is 48. We add 6 every time. 9 times 6 is 54. And now you can just check 10 times 6. If I add 6, I get 60. If you end up there, you know you've done it all correct, although you didn't really need 10 times 6 there. Okay, let's use this now to do our long division here. 6 go in 5 how many times? It doesn't, it's a 0. Now do remember the 0, very important, it's a placeholder, you have to have it because it's going to help you not to make a mistake. Okay, 0 times 6 is 0, and then we take away 5, take away 0 is 5. My remainder is 5. I bring down the next number. I have 52 here. 6 go in 52 how many times? So let's use our times tables here. 52, where is 52? It is here between 48 and 54. In other words, the answer is 8 times 6 is 48, so it's 8 times 6 is 48. And now we are going to take away 52, take away 48. We cannot take 8 from 2, we have to borrow from the 5, it becomes a 4, it becomes 12, take away 8, which is 4. Our remainder is 4, we bring down the next number, 46. Now 6 go in 46, how many times? Now let's look, where is 46 on our 6 times table? 46 is there, between 42 and 48. In other words, we need to use the 7. 7 times 6, we have the answer here is 42. Now we take away to get that remainder. 46 take away 42 is 4. Once you have the remainder, you bring down your next number and you get the number of 42. Now 6 go in 42. Let's look. Oh, here it is in our times table. It is 7. So that is 7 times 6 is 42. We take away to get our remainder, which is 0. And there isn't another number to bring down, which means we are finished. The answer is 877. Okay? Okay, pause the video. You try to do these short divisions. You've got your times table there to help you. There you go, there's your answers. Now could you do this short division? 6 in 6 once, there's no remainder. 6 in 7 once, there's 1 remainder. 6 in 10 once, there's 4 remaining. 6 in 42, 7, no remaining. And 6 in 0, 0. That 0 very important, don't mess it out. Okay, always write neatly in a column like this. This is why we practice on this grid. Okay, pause the video to check further. Now we are going to take now a decimal number and divide by 2. Okay, we are going to follow the long division method here because this is very important for you to practice. Okay, let's look. 2 goes in 8 how many times? 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 take away 8 is 0. My remainder is 0. I bring down the 2. Now this decimal point, don't ignore it at this point. The point just have to line up there, and otherwise you are going to ignore it. Don't put any decimal points in your calculation here. 2 goes into 1. 1 times 2, 2. 2 take away 2 is 0. My remainder is 0. I bring down the 7. 2 goes in 7 how many times? 3. 3 times 2, 6. Okay, now I take away to get my remainder. 7 take away 6 is 1. And I bring down the 0. 2 goes in 10 how many times? 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 take away 10 is 0. That is my remainder. And there is nothing to bring down, so I am done. The answer here is 41.35. Okay? Now you try to do these divisions. It is simple, short division. By now you should do it. You just line up your decimal point, okay? Okay, pause the video then. There you go, there's the answers. Please check them. Pause the video to check. Okay, now we're going to divide by 7. Now I know you guys don't like dividing by 7, especially this method, but I do encourage you, please try this. Very important. I would say pause the video at this stage and try to do this on your own first before I go through with you, okay? Okay, 7 goes in 7 once. 1 times 7, 7. 7 take away 7, 0. My remainder is 0. I bring down the 7. Ignore the point. 7 goes in 7, 1. 1 times 7, 7. 7 take away 7, 0. My remainder is 0. Bring down the 3. 7 goes in 3, 0. 0 times 7, 0. I take away 3, take away 0 is 3. I have my remainder. I bring down the next number, 5. I have 35. 7 goes in 35. How many times? 5. 5 times 7, 35. I have 35, take away that, and it is 0. I bring down the next number, but it's not there, so I'm finished, and we have no remainder. Now, what did I forget? We had a point there. We ignored it, but the only thing is we have to line up our points, and we need a point there. In other words, our answer would be 11.05, okay? Now you try to do these short divisions. If you find it hard, quickly write down your 7 times table. That will help a lot, okay? Pause the video, you do the rest. Okay, we'll move to the answers now. There's the answers for you to check. Let's check this one together. 7 goes in 1, it cannot, so it's 0, remainder 1. 7 goes in 11, 1, and my remainder is 4. Okay, the points line up. 7 goes in 49, 7, no remainder. I have a 1 here. 7 goes in 1, 0, remainder 1. 7 goes in 14, twice, and there's no remainder, and that is then my answer. Now remember, this starting 0 here doesn't have any meaning. It was just a placeholder. In other words, we can now ignore it because we have a 1 in front of the point there, okay? Pause the video and you can check the rest of your answers. Okay, now we're going to start dividing by 11. We are going to think of our 11 times table. Now 11 times table is still not really that difficult, so maybe it's not really necessary to write it down. We're going to see can we do it without. Okay, look, 11 goes in 9. It cannot, so it's 0. Yeah. If we divide by a double digit, the first number will always be a 0, and it's best to put it there so you can remember I have a number on top of that 9, and you cannot make a mistake like that. And then you will say 11 goes in 99, and that is 9. And then 9 times 11 is 99. 99 take away 99 is 0, so we have just the answer of 9, which hopefully you knew from the beginning that was the answer. We just need to make sure you can use this grid and this method. Okay, do you want to try this now? And then I will work through it afterwards. Okay, so if you pause the video and try it, let's try to do it together now. 11 goes in 9 how many times? It cannot. 0. Okay, 11 goes in 94 how many times? It must be 8, because 9 times 11 is 99, too big, so it must be 8. 8 times 11, 88. And we are going to take away to get the remainder. Now we cannot take 8 from 4, so we have to borrow. We get a 8 there, and then we have a 14 here. 14 take away 8 is 6. And then 8 take away 8 is nothing. So my remainder there is 6. And I bring down the 4. 11 goes in 64 how many times? It is 5, isn't it? 5 times 11 is 55. Now 64 take away 55. We cannot take 5 from 4, so we have to borrow. A 5 is left. 14 take away 5 is 9. And then 5 take away 5 is 0. We have a remainder. We bring down the 9, and now that makes 99. 11 goes in 99. 9 times. 9 times 11, 99. And 99 take away 99 is 0. Okay. There isn't another number to bring down. We are finished. That's our answer. 859. You will notice that I don't use the short division method anymore when I divide with 2 digits, because personally I think it gets too easy to make a mistake when you work out those remainders in your head. You can obviously follow it if you want to, especially for 11, because that's still a relative easy times table. Okay, you try the rest, pause the video. There you go, there's your answers. Please check them now. Pause the video to check. Okay, now we're going to look at our 13 times table. Now we might have to write down a few times tables. Say for instance you want to do 65 divided by 13. So let's just quickly write down the 13 times table, how many we need. We know 1 times 13 is 13. Now we have to add 13 to that, which gives us 26. If you say 26 plus 13, you get 39. If you say 39 plus 13, you get 52. If you say 52 plus 13, you get 65. And if we look at the first question here, 65 divided by 13, we can already see it's 5. 13 goes in 6, it cannot. 13 goes in 65. 5. 5 times 13 is 65. We take away and we have no remainder. My answer is 5. Okay? Now you try to do this. I wonder, will it be helpful for you that you don't have to work this out? That is 78. 91. Add 13. 104. Add 13. 117. And then if we add another 13, we get 130. So if you add it every time, you should know that this is correct now. Okay, have you tried to do this on your own? Let's do this one together then. 13 goes in 9, it cannot. 13 goes in 94. Where is 94? 94 is there. So it must be 7. 7 times 13 is 91. And then we take away to get the remainder. 4 take away 1 is 3. We have the remainder, we bring down the next number, 33. Now where is that in our times table? It is there. In other words, we need 2 times 13. 2 times 13 is 26. We take away 33, take away 26. We cannot take 6 from 3. We have to borrow. We get it to 13, take away 6 is 7. And we have our remainder. We bring down the next number, 78. Okay. And we look, where is 78? Oh yes, it's here, 6. 6 times 13, 78. 78 take away 78, 0. There isn't another number to bring down. We are done. That is our answer, 726. Okay? You do the rest. Pause the video. There's your answers. Please check them carefully. Pause the video to check. Okay, now I'm going to let you do this one on your own. Go and write down your 23 times table. Try to do this. You might notice already that there will be zeros in all of them would start with a 0. Okay, that's the only help I'm going to give you in this one. Pause the video and you do the rest. There you go, there's your answers. Please check them. Pause the video now to check those answers. Now we are going to do exactly what we did before, but it's going to have a decimal point in it. And you already know that the only thing that matters is that there is a decimal point. There is a decimal point. There's one and there's one. And other than that, you can basically ignore it and do it as always. Okay, you write down your 17 times table by adding 17 every time. See how many you need to do this, and then try to do these ones on your own. You know how to do it by now. Pause the video to do that. There's your answers. Please check them. Pause the video to check them. Okay. Now we are going to look at dividing a decimal number by a whole number. That is what we've done right now. If you want to know what 6.3 divided by 9, we know that 63 divided by 9 is 7. So how will we do this? Where would the 7 go and where would the point go? We would simply go and write it in our bus stop method and think of how we would do that sum. We would say 9 goes in 6, 0, and the point would line up, and then we'll have the number 63, and 9 goes in 63, 7. So that is a method that can help you to put your point in the right way. I see too many times that students do this wrong because they don't write this out. Please do that carefully. Okay, let's look at number 23 here. We know that 81 divided by 9 is 9, yeah? But where would the point go? 0.81 divide 9. 9 goes in 0, 0. Okay, 9 goes in 8, it goes 0. And then 9 goes in 81, 9. In other words, it is 0.09. Okay, you can do the rest there. Pause the video. Now I want you to notice that we always have a whole number outside. The decimal number can be inside, and we don't mind it at all because it's really easy. We just line up the points. But we definitely not want a decimal number out here, okay? Okay, we're going to check those answers now. There you go, there's your answers. Please check them. Pause the video to check. Now, dividing a decimal by a decimal. Now, as I said before, we already know if we think of what is 18 divided by 3. We already know that answer is 6. But how would that answer be? And we're certainly not going to guess. Now, one thing we also don't want is we definitely don't want to do this, because we don't want a decimal number there. So what we really want is a 3 outside and then a number there. In other words, we want to divide by 3, so we want that to be a 3. Yeah? So how can we change that into a 3? 1.8 divide by 0.03. Let's think of it for the minute as a fraction. We want the bottom a 3. Now how can we make that a 3? By moving the point 1, 2. What does it mean if we move the point? It means we times with 100. So we need to times with 100 at the top. 1, 2, which will give us 180. In other words, what sum do we have now? We have 180 divided by 3. 180 divide by 3. 3 goes in 18, 6. 3 goes in 0, 0. Don't forget that. Your answer is 60. So let's look at this one. Or do you know by now how to do it yourself? You want to make this a 12. How do you get it at 12? Times by 10. So times this one by 10 as well. Times by 10, times by 10. It becomes 24 divided by 12, which is 2. Okay, do you feel ready to do the rest now? This one your word, times both of them by 100. What would you times this both by? By 10. Okay, pause the video, you do the rest. There you go, there's your answers. I tried to show you there how I change those numbers to make it easier for you to understand and learn. Okay, pause your video and check your answers. Now, we just have a mixture here. 49 divided by 0.7. Do you want to give this a go now? Then pause the video, else I'll just help you with a few of them. Okay, we learned 49 divided by 0.7. We learned that we want to make that a 7. In other words, we times that by 10. We need to times that by 10 to even it out, because we see it as a fraction, and that becomes 49 divided by 7, which is just 7. How do you divide by 100? Now some students at this point forget how to do that. We simply divide by 100 by moving the point. So if we have 2 zeros there, I just like to, because we divide, the answer becomes smaller. Put my zeros there and think 1, 2. So my point is there. It's going to be 0.005. I've got a 0.005. Okay, I think at this stage you can do them on your own. Pause the video to do that. There you go, there's your answers. How did you do this one? Could you do this? Did you have it right? We have 3 zeros here. We have to move the point back 3. 1, 2, 3. Your point was just before your 7. Just before the 7, but we needed a 0 before that point. Pause the video to check the rest of your answers. Now, we have here divisions by 2 digits. And that looks like a lot of work. We will spend a long time on that. We don't want to do that. So now I'm going to show you how to avoid dividing by 2 digits, because we would much rather like to divide by 1 digit. Let's look at the first one. We have 36 divided by 18. Now you might remember from what we did with fractions that we can simplify that fraction. We can half both of them, can't we? What is half of 36? That is 18. What is half of 18? That is 9. And now let's look at the sum. It is just 18 divided by 9. And what is that? 2. So my answer is 2. Do you want to try the rest on your own? Pause the video now. Now for those who still need help, let's look at this one. 32 divided by 16. Now this one is, I'd rather do this one with you. 700 divided by 14. So let's write it like this. 700 over 14. Can you see they're both even numbers? So we can just half both of them. What's half of 700? 350. What's half of 14? 7. Now we've got 350 divided by 7. 350 divide 7. 7 goes in 3 zeros. 7 goes in 35. 5. 7 goes in 0, 0. So my answer is 50. 50, okay? It's your turn. Pause the video. Please try to follow this with simplifying. Now remember, if you struggle to half a number, I've shown you mental methods to half a number in the second video. Okay, go back to that and practice halving a number. Pause the video, do the rest. I'll show you the answers now. Okay, it looks as if I don't have the answers here. What I would say is just grab your calculator and quickly check those answers. Yes, in the workbook, all the answers are in the workbook and much more practice. Okay, there's 42 pages already. We are going to end with word problems, as we do every time. So again, some practice for you in how they can ask you divisions in words. Okay, pause the video and you give that a go. There's your answers, please check them. Please download the workbook for more practice. Also look at my previous division videos if you found this quite hard, that would be helpful. And thank you very much for listening.